Yeah, I'm right back at you like I never left, and I'm gonna go this hard to my last breath. Salute Kenny Russell, Canoom, Consul Moon. You already know what you're gonna get when you step in the room. You're now dealing with Canoom. I'm here. And while I'm here, I'm gonna make the information direct and clear because a lot of y'all can't hear it. Now, welcome back to Make My Ancestors Great Again. This is My Thoughts 53, a series that I went back to. I did 50 initially to kind of get myself back. Um, and being used to recording each day, if you will, 5 days a week, 5 videos a week, a video a day, a short a day, just to get myself in the rhythm of trying to catch a little bit of algorithm. And since that point, my subscribers, my subscriber base, and my subscriber count has went up substantially, pretty much double from what I started with just a month or two ago. And I never did this once in my YouTube career, in the progression of my YouTube. If you look back a couple of years ago, I started bringing out content. It was a little bit more than people probably understood at that time. And I was doing 2 and 3 hour lectures, an hour lecture. So I wanted to come back. Uh, they use the term dumb it down, but I don't want to say that to my subscribers. So I wanted to make it a little bit more simplistic, to let you guys know exactly what I stood for, what I stand on, and just things that, I'm here to present to the world. Um, so this is My Thoughts 53, and I want to go over, I said something the other day about if the Adam and Eve story is correct, they had Cain and Abel, and after Cain killed Abel, um, Cain was put out from the garden. This is what it says in the Bible. But you have to do all these backstories now to figure out what was going on. But at the time of the Bible, they didn't have all these backstories. So when Cain killed Abel, the Lord put Cain out. This God put Cain out, and he took a wife. Okay. So I found a gentleman. His page is Useful Charts. You can go look at it. You can watch this video in its entirety. I don't own it. This is a fair use act. I'm going to give my criticism on it. I'm going to give my opinions on it, and I'm going to give some type of what I deem a historical analysis on it, because I'm just trying to use things and reference them in a historical manner. It's the difference between literary history and literal history. The Bible is said to be literal history for some people. I deem it to be literary history, along with a lot of other stuff out there in the world. It's just for literature. It was never meant to become historical, but somebody picked it up and said this will make a good literal story, when really it's just literature, literary history, and that's the way it was supposed to stay. So this isn't to take God away from anybody. Okay, this is sort of a disclaimer. I say it all the time. This is, you can have God all you want. You can have the Bible all you want. This is just to shed some light on different things. When you start having an inquisitive mind and you want to soul search and be a free spirit, nothing about it is devilish. Though people think a free spirit, they always try to scare you into thinking that you're a demonic entity or something. No, you're a free spirit. You don't need the pastor. You don't need Jesus the Christ. You don't need Allah, Muhammad. You don't need none of these people. You are your own free spirit. You can do and choose whatever you want. You can be a Jehovah's Witness. That's up to you. So watch what you put your spirituality into, because it's far greater than just religion. Okay. And this is Friday. And this is something kind of like, this is a little fun one. I seen in the comment a gentleman was 35 years old. I mean, I'm sorry, not 35 years old. He said, I've been waiting 35 years for this, for somebody to break this down and put it on the chart so he can see it with his mind. Because see, none of this can be founded in history. The people that this guy is going to mention, they don't have any skeletal remains. They don't have any human remains. They don't have any tombstones. They don't have any burial plots. They don't have any birthdays, death dates. Listen to the chart. You're not going to see one birthday, death date, or any of that. Okay? Because it's biblical, literary history. So a gentleman was in the comments, and you can go over there and look. He said, I've been waiting 35 years for this, for somebody to put it on the chart and show him how it go. A grown man, okay? So you want to wait 35 years for things like this to come out, a silly biblical chart, and I'm not disrespecting anybody. These are my words. It's my platform. To show you how these silly people came about with no women, okay? It's very important. The European, he don't respect women. He never has. He does not respect women. I'm not talking about anybody. I'm giving a historical analysis. I've already peeked through European history, and they're horrible when it comes to respect of women. So let's watch this video.
Of the tree is, of course, Adam and Eve, who, according to the Bible, were the first two humans created by God.
At the top of the chart is Adam and Eve, and that's the way. Even though I'm screen recorded, that's the way it looks anyway. It says biblical family tree on top of the chart. The top of the chart is Adam and Eve, as everyone knows.
Their first two children were named Cain and Abel. But as you probably know, Cain kills Abel out of jealousy, and therefore Adam and Eve have a third son named Seth.
Okay. Excuse me. I want to deal with that. The top two people on the list are Cain and Abel. That's two. He said this is the beginning of the world. Now, this is what the Bible shows us. And all this information that he might put in or a person might put in, that's backstory information, not biblical. So it's two people at the top, Cain and Abel. I'm sorry, um, Adam and Eve. Then they have two sons, Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel. That's three people left. Now he added a son named Seth. That's four. And he said people asked him where Seth got his wife from. Okay. Now he's going to give you some backstory information. The Bible said they had many kids. Yes, but not in that chronological order. After Cain killed Abel, the Lord put him out. He wouldn't have a son named Enoch. They don't mention nothing about Seth until after that. But he's putting it together the way he feel fit. Okay. But if that was possible, you still had four people on the planet. You had Cain, Adam and Eve, and Seth. Where did this Seth get a wife from? That's four. That's three men and a lady. Okay. So he said the Bible always said that they had other children. They just didn't tell us. So he possibly married his sister or his cousin. The scripture don't say that. This is what I'm saying. This stuff is humorous. It's fun to go back and pick apart, but for your rationale, for a religious person to have rationale and the continuance, the further of this lie, they let it be okay with them. Grown-ups. Okay, let's continue.
And it is through Seth that the biblical story continues. Now, in a previous video, I got a lot of questions about who Seth married in order to have his children. Well, according to the Bible, Adam and Eve had many other sons and daughters, even though they aren't named. So,
Okay, what time period? Chronology is very important. My mother had other father and children. My mother and father had other children. But do some predate me, or do some are some prior and some after me? It's when it's chronology, you have to do what the chronology tells you to do. You can't just spit forth all this information. The Bible said they had other children and all this stuff, so he might have married his sister or his cousin. We don't need a might. When you're doing a chronological chart, all might have to be off the table. These are human beings. The chronological order has to stay intact with a human being. If my brother is older than me, I cannot be before him. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Chronology means something when you're dealing with historical people. But for literary purposes, it means nothing. You can put them wherever they want. So he's trying to fill in the blank because the guy said, hey, who did Seth marry? So now he's giving you all this. The Bible don't say that.
based on tradition, the assumption is that Seth would have married one of his sisters, and that subsequent generations would have married their cousins, and so on.
Based on tradition, the assumption is, see, why are you assuming things when you have a chronological chart right here and you're putting it together the way you feel fit or the Bible told you? The Bible says it happened this way. Keep it intact. Tell us how all these things are happening. See, because nothing but men, I'm only hearing men, unless he had sex with his mother, Eve. It's three men left: Adam, who was created with Eve, Cain, who killed his brother Abel, and Seth. He says Seth continues the story. So that's three men and a lady. Unless they was all running a freaky train on their mother, he used the assumption that it was other people around and he took a cousin or a sister for a wife. The Bible does not say that, okay?
Now, I should point out that in this video, I'm not going to be discussing whether or not the early parts of this tree are literary or literal history. I'll leave.
Listen to this. I've been saying this since day one. This gentleman said, and I'm not kicking the brother around. I'm not talking about the brother. I'm just going through his chart, and we're historically and chronologically putting it together piece by piece to make some sense of it because it makes no sense. I already said this. If this story can't hold up, the Adam and Eve story cannot hold up and stay intact, every other name in the Bible is null and void. It never happened. So this never happened. This biblical chart, according to the Bible, never happened because it's three men and a lady left. But see, already Seth is taking a wife. You didn't say nothing about Cain taking a wife and making Enoch. Okay. You didn't say nothing about that. He skipped right over that and went to Seth. But where did Cain get his wife from? Where did Seth get his wife from? The Bible don't tell you that. It's not clear on that. So he said through tradition, we use an assumption. I don't want to assume things if my life is tied to this book. If my life is tied to this book and everything I have, I'm trying to get into this heaven that the book told me about. The book, it better damn well be intact. I'm putting my faith on the line for this crap. So the book better be intact. You hear me? That's all I'm saying. He said we're not going to discuss whether it's literary history or literal. But if you want to hear my opinions on this, go to another link in my video. Okay? He's very crafty, but I'm not kicking him around because I don't know his views or I don't know his religious ideology. Nor do I care. But he's has guts and balls and some nuts. Excuse the lack of better terms. But he has a whole lot of courage to sit here and try to make some sense of this foolishness for other foolish people to have something to look at. Okay.
That decision up to you. If you want to hear my take, I'll link to some previous videos in the description where I do dive into that. But in
Yeah, link to some other videos in there where he'll dive into that. If you want to hear my take is my opinion and my assumptions.
this video, I'm just going to follow the tree as it is described in the Bible. So
Okay, so he already went wrong. Listen to what he's saying. These people be making things up. I'm just going to follow the chart as it says in the Bible. The Bible didn't give you the reason to assume that Seth took a wife that was his sister or his cousin, because it didn't tell you that. Okay, so that right there was a false notion and a false narrative he put forth. I don't know if he meant to do it purposely. And again, I'm not tearing him down, but what he said is incorrect because he already said in his opinion, and he assumed that Seth took a sister or a cousin. The Bible does not say that. Okay, the Bible don't even tell you who Enoch took. I'm sorry, who Cain took as a wife. So how do you know who Seth took?
Seth has a son named Enosh. And 7 generations later, we get the next main character in the Bible, Noah. Noah's the one who built the ark and filled it up with animals in order to escape the great flood. At this point, everyone on earth dies, except for Noah and his wife and their 3 sons and their wives. So
Okay.
there are 8 people in total who then go on to repopulate the earth. The Bible doesn't mention the name of Noah's wife or his daughters-in-law, but we do know that his 3 sons were named Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Shem has 5 sons.
Okay, that's the video. And if you understand anything I was saying, go look at the chart. You can go to the brother's channel, Useful Charts. Again, I don't own the material. Go watch it for yourself because you need to understand this. I'm not talking about anybody who believes this stuff, but if you're going to die about it, it got to make sense. Any human being that's going to die about something, he should have a good reason to die for it. Don't just believe what they told you about this dead white man on the cross named Jesus the Christ, and you must die with it for your soul to be good. It never was a man named Jesus Christ. There has never been a man of any race, creed, or color in human form by the name of Jesus the Christ. It never existed. Okay, that's a hoax. That's a fallacy. Go look at the chart. All men have been named. Again, purposely, because it's a European thing. People think it's African and black, but it's not. This is a European story. All the chart is men. Okay, the only first time you heard about a woman was Adam and Eve. And they don't tell you who Seth married. They don't tell you who Cain married. They don't tell you nothing. He said he don't even know the name of Noah's wife, nor do he care to. Then he go on and say Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, before everybody died in this flood. They had wives. He don't even care to name them. So the Bible is male driven, male dominated, male populated, everything masculinely driven for the male's purpose. Okay. The whole chart is men. Ladies aren't significant in a Christian or religious story. They stripped you right out of it. So why should a woman be so founded and so spiritually grounded in silliness? You have no place in the world of religion, none. Okay, that's my thoughts on the video. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Canoeum Consul Moon. You already know what you're gonna get when you step in the room. You're now dealing with Canoeum. Yeah, yeah. This is Friday. I intended on having some fun with that chart, but when I break it down, I get serious. Nothing is fun about people being lied to. I was in Christianity. It's a horrible religion on the inside, in my opinion. You give money, give money, give money. You follow a man, which is inhuman. Okay. You're not supposed to follow a man. You follow the pastor, that's another man. I'm sorry, initially. Then you follow the pastor's man, which is Jesus the Christ. Then he follows his father, which is all of it, which is Jesus' father. I mean, it go on and on and on. When it's unhuman for men to follow men. Okay. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I thank you for watching.